Way back in high school, a couple of years ago, I remember my first day in high school. My mother accompanied me and helped me with my metal box. I'm sure most of us can identify with that metal box on first day of school. My box contained a number of items which I thought would make my life a bit comfortable, and items that the school had asked that we could carry. As we sat, waiting to be ushered into the headmistress' office, something struck me. I saw two girls walking, carrying paper bags, accompanied by their parents. I waited to see somebody bringing in their suitcases of their metal boxes, but nothing came. And I got sad, looking at my suitcase, my box, and here girls carrying paper bags. I could only imagine what was in these paper bags. To cut a long story short, I later learned that the girls did not have basic items, things that you think are very cheap: toothpaste, soap, oil, panties, sanitary towels, tissues, name it. And from that tender age, I learned to begin to share what I had with the students. That included sharing some food during visiting day. I was lucky to have an auntie who stayed closer to the school. My parents could not travel all the way to come and visit me. So on visiting day, I would invite them and would have an opportunity to share. And around this time, my dream for supporting others and making other children happy was born. I completed high school. I went to college. I went into the teaching field. I left the teaching field. I went to the teaching field, and I joined the private sector. I was there for a couple of years, but I felt I wasn't really impacting on the children's lives. And I thought, how best can I do this? I went back again to school and gained skills that would propel me to go into the development world. After I completed my studies, I joined a couple of organizations. I worked for Child Fund, which then was Child Fund today, and then it was Christian Children's Fund, sorry for the confusion. I worked for Feed the Children, I worked with UNDP, I worked outside the country, I worked with Path International, but I still felt the thirst of wanting to do much more. So in 2016, I started my journey of preparing a vehicle that would propel me to touching lives. And I registered an organization known as Community Initiatives Agenda. This is a local NGO based here in Kenya. And as you have watched or listened to the video, we are doing a couple of things which I'll not want to repeat. Now, as you sit here, or as you sit in your vehicle for those who drive, as you walk to work, as you walk around, do you ever think about what is happening in your village? Some of us have come into the city from their villages because everybody feels there are opportunities or better opportunities in the city. As we sit here, there are children dying in our villages, dying of hunger, dying of disease. There are children without uniforms. There are children without shoes. There are children without school bags. There are children who are joining crime, moving into the streets because they are lacking somebody to love. We have boys and girls who are lacking school fees. They are desperate. Some are looking for very basic things. Sanitary pads. Where I come from, sanitary pads is a big thing, and girls will not go to school. Think about your village. Take a mental walk to your village. When I started helping. I had not even formed the organization. In my own small way. When I told my friends I would step out of employment and go into community service, they said, you must be crazy. Where is the money? Why are you leaving your good job? But none of that could discourage me. The naysayers today are my cheerleaders. They're always calling to ask, Ima, where are you going? We want to join you. When is the next trip? We want to join you. Now, how I started, it wasn't easy. I stepped out of employment with only a laptop donated by a family member. I didn't have an office. I had a certificate. I started working from my bedroom, visiting villages, conducting assessment, finding out what the gaps are in those villages. As I listened to the panelists here and people asking questions, something kept running in my mind. People have all these good ideas, but they are waiting for this other person to come and support them. And if I could use Martin Luther's words to an audience in Alabama in 1957, this is what he said. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? What are you doing about the challenges and many others? Challenges in your village, challenges just around where you are. Many will not bother. Many want to say, I have no money. Anytime you meet somebody and you're like, so why are you not doing something? I have no money. It's not always about money. We fail to move forward, to think outside the box on how we could start small. Identify a gap wherever you are, swing into action, take lead in mobilizing young people in your community. Interest them on projects like what the young man talked about. Get good friends who believe in you, who can support you. Begin small, 50 shillings, 100 shillings. Come up with a kitty. Approach the church, approach the government, well-wishers, friends, to boost you and begin to address the gap. Let's do some simple arithmetics. How much does a casual laborer earn today, per day? About how much? 300, 500. If you gathered 50 young people and each one of them contributed 500 shillings only in a month, how much would that be? How much would that be? 25,000? 25,000? What about at the end of the year? How much would that be? 300,000 shillings. Can you do something with 25,000? Can you touch lives with 25,000? Is there something that you could do? I keep saying there is no little money. So if you can't initiate something, support those available to do something. I have mentored a couple of young people, and I have two of them here. Somebody spoke about mentoring. I work with young people. We have Geoffrey, please, could you rise up? Geoffrey is a graduate, and when he learned from a cousin what I was doing, he left what he was doing all the way from Kibwezi, and he came and supported me for 3 months. He did my banners. We did so many things. Out of what we were doing, people around, when we later got an office, which is also donated, they were like, Geoffrey, you're doing something. Why don't you do the banners for us? Why don't we do this for us? Right there, he was able to start up his own business. He's running a business, he's into printing, and out of supporting me, people saw what he had, and I encouraged him. We also have another young man there, also a graduate. He's supporting me. I'm not paying any salaries because right now we have no salaries, but he's there. He has learned to do so much. So mentorship did not just start when I started the organization. How do I support my projects? Somebody would be asking me. I support my projects through sale of beadwork, like what you see me having here. I do consultancies. I engage friends and well-wishers. When we have an activity, for example, we brought some of those students from very far, almost 200 kilometers to the city. We took them to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. We also took them to the animal orphanage. Children who had never seen a roundabout, children who had never left their village. And it was so motivating for them. And when they went back, they were motivated to keep working hard. So that's how I support. And I keep saying there's no little money, except even a shilling, because some cannot even afford a meal. We have families that are sleeping hungry. We are committed to serving them in the form of food rations. They have children who have HIV. It may not be my focus, but they're in the schools that I'm supporting. So you are 2 shillings, 1 shilling. We use the Kidogo Kidogo initiative to collect money. Sometimes what stops us is because more often we think about me. What am I going to have for lunch? What will I have tomorrow? What about that person, that boy who ran away into the street? Do you ever think about them? Most of the time we see them as criminals. When they approach us, we quickly, isn't that what we do? Huyu ni mwizi. Do you ever stop to think what brought this child to the street? Could you engage them? Could you find out what is happening and see how you can support? Money is good, yes. You can still earn a living through your innovation in solving problems in your community. And I think the panelists who are here emphasized on that. How can you do this? We are looking at Vijana na Biashara. Is there Biashara in the development world? Yes. Social entrepreneurship. You can learn to solve people's problems, and in it, you earn something. So I would really encourage you. Go into startup ventures. Train people and improve their lives and make a small living. So don't enclose yourself in a box that I must open an M-Pesa shop. So many people have opened M-Pesa shops. And the next thing you are thinking about is an M-Pesa shop. Scan your environment. Young people are natural innovators. Scan your environment. Put your creative mind to work. Transform and impact lives. And while you're doing there, you'll have an income. So think outside the box. Something I want to add, don't always say, I have an idea. Put that idea into practice. If you take 1, 2 steps, and you come and tell somebody, this is what I have done, will they support you? Will they support you? Yeah, so don't remain with your idea in the head. Take a step of faith. It's not about money, it's about testing that good idea. Most of the time, people are thinking about donors. Oh, I can't start, I have no donors. I do not have one single donor. I raise funds in my own small way. Donors are good, but before they come, they'll want to see what is it that you have done with the little you have. How can somebody trust you with millions of shillings when you can't use your 20 shillings or 50 shillings to buy somebody a loaf of bread? I welcome you to partner with me in transforming lives, and I wish you the very best. Please be more innovative. What's my relationship with Juma and his team? When I was developing a website, I met Juma. And as we started working on my website, he got interested into the community work that we are doing. And he said, I would want to support you together with your team. And I would like to rope in many more young people. And I'm glad that this has happened. We've walked a good journey, and I want to believe young people are gonna change this country. So many things that we keep saying, serikali saidia. We are the people. Let's stand up. Let's move. We have everything that we own. Thank you very much.